What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a walk through the streets of Birmingham with some great weather, my camera in hand and loads of character to capture. We're going to be hitting a few of my favourite spots around the city, finding a few hidden gems, and I'll talk you through my thought process as I shoot. So if you're into street photography or just love exploring cities through the lens, stick around. There's hopefully some great stuff to come. We're starting off around New Street Station, and every time I come here, I love all of the reflections on the surfaces. They can make for some really interesting compositions. Today we're going to be shooting with a Fujifilm XS10 paired with the XC35mm F2. I think this shot worked out quite nice. I was actually trying to capture the cab driver in the mirror as he was going about his day, and I think the layers and the focus it creates gives almost like that kind of voyeuristic POV kind of feel, and it helps you to feel like you were there when you're looking at the image, as it's not just an image of the cab driver, it's actually him through that mirror looking at him doing what he's doing. Walking past here, I noticed this glass shop, and I thought it could be an interesting way to shoot through it, capturing subjects walking through on the opposite side, with all the layers from the reflections and stuff inside the shop surrounding it, but also the way that the reflection of the building behind me was creating these leading lines, drawing your eye to the center of the frame. So it was drawing the eye to the subject, which created quite a busy image, but I quite actually like the composition of this one. If you've shot in Birmingham before, what's your favourite spot?
Yay! Copy, wait please. Copy.
If you're a regular watcher of the channel, you'll know that I love taking panning shots. So for these, I'm just matching my shutter to the speed of my subject, and then I'm setting my aperture to, I think it was f9 on these, to give me a little bit more room to play with, because all the motion that we're going to be getting and all that blur in the background is going to be coming from the motion itself rather than the aperture. So if you want to know how to take better panning shots, I'll drop a link to my video on that in the description, and I'll also put a card at the top of this video. So definitely recommend you checking that out if panning shots are something you struggle with. One thing that I've been finding myself doing a lot on these photo walks is framing intentionally with a crop in mind. I know a lot of people talk about filling the frame, but due to the nature of Instagram and the 4x5 crop, I've been shooting with that in mind, knowing that potentially going to crop a chunk of my images out. So I intentionally leave a lot of room around some of my images, especially like this one. When I'm out shooting, for the most part, I'm using single point autofocus. Sometimes I switch to zone focusing depending on what situation I'm shooting, but I've been finding that I get my best results using single point autofocus, with that point set quite small. Sometimes getting low to the ground can help give a subject an extra push, especially when combined with leading lines like these yellow lines on the road. I've actually been thinking about doing a straight out of camera black and white photo walk in the future using a Fuji recipe. Let me know in the comments below, do you prefer colour or black and white for street shots? And is that a video you'd be interested in seeing? For this shot, I wanted to try and get low and capture someone walking through the frame close to the camera to give that little bit of a sense of motion and atmosphere to the image. As I walked up the stairs here, I noticed this guy sat on the fountain, and the leading lines of the shape of the fountain, it was absolutely asking for a shot to be taken. And I really like the way that one turned out, with how much negative space, but because of that leading line from the fountain, the attention was so solidly drawn to the subject. This is definitely a shot that when I saw it, I had to get it. The three subjects all sat waiting for the tram. And you know what they say, the magic number is sets of threes, so it was perfect time to capture something. when I was walking around here, I really liked the way that the light was hitting the buildings in the distance. So I wanted to try and get some subjects in the background as well, just to give some layers to the image. So what I decided to do was get low to the ground, so I was looking level at the buildings rather than at an angle.
Sorry, I got in the way of your photo.
Oh, it's all good.
And I think these shots worked pretty nice, but while I was taking them, I just happened to notice and catch something out of the corner of my eye to my right hand side. So I quickly turned and captured this couple here. It's got to be one of my favourite shots from the walk. I absolutely love this moment going on here with the flowers, so I had to grab a few shots. I really love the pop of colour that the flowers gave it, but also the guy's expressions. It was just a really nice moment to capture. If this isn't your first time here, you'll know my motto that if there's a tram, it's getting a shot. And I actually low-key like the way that this one turned out. I actually ended up waiting here a little while, just trying to wait for a few different subjects to cross through the frame. It's quite quiet. I like the way the light was hitting down there, so what I really wanted to do was capture somebody from this low angle as they were walking up towards the station, hopefully with a suitcase or a bag, and preferably some pops of colour. And then it's almost like I manifested it, because just not long after I got my settings sorted, this guy walked through with this really cool rucksack or bag, whatever you want to call it, some bright trainers, and yeah, he just popped really well inside the frame. And then straight after that, it's like buses. I was sat here waiting for so long, and then everyone just came all at once. And then there was these two ladies with their suitcases. And again, just the way the light was accentuating them, I think made for a really nice, striking image. Here, I was trying to use the bikes as like a frame for the guy at the end, but I feel like the idea was there, but due to the hecticness of all the bikes, it almost overpowered the subject at the end. Recently, I've been enjoying experimenting with layers in my images, so you saw those ones earlier in the video. Here, trying to capture something in the mirror of this moped, and all you could see was the palm trees around, so it wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I made my way over the street here to see if I could shoot through this corner building to somebody walking through on the other side as well. It just creates so many different layers and so much depth to your images. It, in my opinion, creates such a more striking image through the use of those layers opposed to just taking a picture of a subject. It's something a little bit more abstract. As I made it back round to New Street Station, I had to grab a couple of shots of people getting off and on some of the trams. But one thing I will say is filming these POV videos, it is kind of pushed me to shoot more horizontal and more natural than I have ever before. I'm noticing each time I go out, I look at scenes differently because I'm trying to now frame for the videos and how they'll look on here, opposed to just being off to one side. I can use an image that fills a greater portion of the screen. So it's nice to know that this video format, you can shoot horizontally and get those more cinematic shaped and looking images. So that's it for today's walk through Birmingham. I hope you've enjoyed tagging along. Drop a comment, hit a like if you've enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more street sessions. Next time we're going to be hitting the streets of London for some early morning urban scenes. Don't miss it. And with all that said and done, I'll catch you in the next one.